Yeah!
Yay!
Hey, everybody,
Woo!
welcome to our little channel. Our little place here on YouTube called Roll
With the Troll.
with the Troll, and I'm here with the voice of reason.
Hello, that's me.
Voice of reason loves to make sense out of stupid nonsense. All right, check it out. Today, this is classic. We're talking about Halloween 2, the original Halloween 2.
Right.
From 81, not this horse
The
shit
first
with Rob
Halloween
Zombie.
2.
Isn't that weird? The original Halloween 2.
Yeah.
What a mess. Anyway, look, this is big because this movie was such a huge deal. You know, it was continuing on with this huge, immediate classic movie, and it was continuing on the same night. Don't you love when films do this, when they just do the same night?
You'd think it would become a thing.
Yeah. I don't like when you have to wait, like, because when there's a lot of things that have happened between films, like between a film and its sequel. Then the first half hour of the sequel, they have to explain all their shit. I don't like that. I like to just dive right in, know what's going on, cut the horse shit. True
continuity.
Yeah, exactly. So Halloween 2, our review. You ready to get into it?
I am. Let's go.
Let's get into the whole damn thing. First of all, what did you think?
I liked it. I hadn't watched it for quite a while, but I loved just that continuous feeling from the original Halloween. I did not like the wig. They did a horrible job on that, but you know.
Yeah, Michael's wig could have been better. I feel like he could have used a better wig. No, I'm kidding.
Laurie Strode.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No, it didn't look good. What are your thoughts?
Well, look, right off the bat, this was a hard movie to make because, you know, you can't carry on the story from the original because the original, ultimately, at its core, is a story about this promiscuous teenager who sucks at babysitting, and all she really wants to do is bang Paul. And so now that Annie was killed off...
Annie.
Well, that's how I saw it. So since Annie was killed off, and now they want to make a sequel here, it's kind of like, well, you can't make a sequel, you know, without Annie. What do you do?
With a secondary character like Laurie Strode?
Right. So I felt like what they did was they leaned into that subplot they had going of that serial killer and the bookworm. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I felt like, okay, you're going to try that, so that's fine. So in this movie, in Halloween 2, they wanted to focus more on the serial killer and the nerd girl who doesn't really get laid since our heroine, Annie, was killed off.
Yes.
And I'm fine with that. But I felt like this movie, now in all seriousness, I think this movie was a tougher one.
As if you're capable.
This was a tougher one to pull off because they didn't do the suspense as well. And they didn't give you all this time to get to know the characters. They just dove in. And like right off the bat, Michael kills somebody in the first 10 minutes. And it's someone who we don't give a fuck about. It's just, there he is. He's slashing her throat. She's gone. You know, and then he's breaking into homes and we don't know any of those. We see the chaos. We see people seeing this on the news. I like that a lot. But I didn't think that it was the kind of slow, suspenseful, big build-up kind of film that the first film was. Not even close. This was actually the total opposite to me. This was, instead of like, you know, 45 minutes of exposition and slowly building up to, oh my gosh, what's going to happen, like a nail-biting kind of situation. This was the exact opposite, where right off the bat, it's just like, fuck it. We're right in the heart of the whole thing. You got Loomis running around crazy. Loomis, in every movie, Loomis takes command of the local police.
He's very bossy.
I've never, as a kid, I remember I was so confused. Like when I was really young and I would see these movies on TV, I was like, what? How is, I remember thinking for a little while that if you were a psychiatrist, you were just sort of in charge of whomever you wanted to be in charge of. In some weird way, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
And seeing this as an adult, I'm like, what is Loomis doing? Like, Loomis doesn't give a damn. He puts a gun to that guy's head, that marshal. Yeah. He's like, you're going to turn this car around. What is it they do? What? Warning shot? I'm like, this guy's out of his fucking mind. Right. You can't do that.
Well, yeah, before you brought it up, I was just about to say, I think my favorite part of the whole movie was just that Loomis was out of his mind for the whole thing. It was fun.
We need to do a video just on how all Loomis's chaotic moments of just absolute insanity. And like, wouldn't he be brought up on charges by now? But by the fifth film, for sure. In the fifth film, it's unbelievable. He's like grabbing Jamie's feet. Like he's like, you must tell me where he is. But anyway, let's stay focused on Halloween 2.
Yeah.
So, should I just tell you what I liked and didn't like? Is that the way to do it?
Yeah, sure.
All right, I'll tell you what I really liked. So coming off of Halloween 1, you always had to wonder, was it that Michael wasn't really hit with many of the bullets? Like, did Loomis just miss a lot at the end? Or was it just kind of a fluke that in some way, like, you had to wonder, was this a monster movie ultimately, where Michael is superhuman? Or was it just a bizarre series of flukes and somehow Michael's okay? What I liked about the ending in Halloween 2 is they answer that question, didn't they?
Yeah.
Because in that final fight in that hallway where Loomis just keeps shooting at him and Michael goes down, he gets back up, you shoot.
Yeah.
They really make clear that this was no fluke.
Yeah.
Now we're getting shot 100 times here at very point blank range.
Not human.
It's clear that Michael's getting hit and he's just going to keep going. Yeah, done deal. So I thought that was cool. I like that. I mean, I wasn't in the theater, of course. I was a kid when this shit came out, but I like that if you were to have gone to the theater and really wondered for the last 3 years, like, what's the deal with that ending, that now they gave you a definitive answer.
Yeah.
That full-blown, this is a monster movie. So I like that.
Yeah.
But as I said earlier, I think the suspense and the tension in this film are a lot less than in the first film. And they're just not good, really. They're not good. And also, it's less relatable. Now, I got to tell you, there was a time in high school, I owned this on VHS, and I watched this movie a lot. And I remember thinking this was one of the best horror movies. I loved it. And then I revisited it a few years later in my 20s. I busted it out one night, and I went, this isn't very good. And part of the reason I wasn't liking it anymore was that a hospital is not like a relatable place for a horror movie. You know, when Michael's coming into a home, it's relatable, right? You're at home.
Yeah.
Hospitals, we don't spend that much time in hospitals. It was a harder pill for me to swallow that, you know, Michael's coming into a hospital and there's almost nobody in this big place. He kills off the few people that there are. We don't get to know those people at all or give a damn about them. They're just lifeless bodies, you know, that we don't, there's no concern about them. Like in the first film, somehow the film made me even care about Annie. I don't know why. She was the worst person I've ever heard of in my life. No moral integrity whatsoever. Takes money for a babysitting job she doesn't even do. Farms it out to her friend so she can go get some cock.
Oh my God.
I mean, it's just unbelievable. And then has her friends bang in the bed of the people paying her. I mean, just you couldn't be a bigger whore. So, you know, but even somehow in that movie, I cared about what happened to her. I cared about the characters. In this movie, I didn't care about anybody, including Laurie Strode for some reason. Somehow I just went, like she's in that hospital. Yeah, a lot of times I just didn't care. I got to tell you, her acting is awful in this movie. You realize in the first film, it was introducing Jamie Lee Curtis, right? In this film, she had like first billing. She had, I think, top billing above Donald Pleasance, didn't she? Or maybe
they shared the screen
when they first showed their names.
Side by side. But her name was a little bit elevated compared to his.
Yeah, and in things where it just has to choose one name, they put hers. So it's interesting because the first film was a Donald Pleasance movie.
Yeah.
And this film, where I thought he had more screen time than she did, it seemed like to me. They still gave it to her. So she was like somehow the big star in this movie, even though she's kind of more relegated to almost a side character in a way for part of the film. And her acting is just atrociously bad. In the end, during that final fight when Michael can't see and he's swinging around his knife, there's a scene where she's on the ground that her face looks like she wants to be anywhere. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, she looked very bored.
Yeah, just bored out of her mind. Like, I can't believe they didn't do a better take. She just has this look on her face like, all right. Like, I could just feel the director, who's not a good director, Rick Rosenthal, whatever the fuck his name is. Rosenbaum, I don't know. Rosenthal. He must be telling her, like, can you just try to at least look kind of scared? Can you just try to have Jesus Christ, we thought Michael's face was expressionless. You know what I mean? I mean, she just did not care. She looked so bored and so out of it. It was the final fight of the movie. Yeah, she could have just done something. She didn't even try. This actress doesn't give a damn. She was already shitting on the Halloween series in the second film. And when she was a nobody for the first film. And this actress always pisses me off. Because she should have been thanking her lucky stars that she got to be in not only one huge successful movie, but then to be in its sequel as well and get top billing. And instead, she's like, I'm just going to sit here and not care. Another complaint, speaking of her, is you know how she had that dream sequence of her mom telling her that she's adopted?
Yeah.
That did nothing for the film. Why is that there? It comes out of nowhere. She's in the hospital. Guys, think back if you haven't seen the movie for a while. She's in the hospital. She has this little dream where she's flashing back to where her mom tells her that basically she was adopted, right? Without using that term.
Yeah.
Okay.
She said, I'm not your mom.
Yeah, I'm not your mom. Okay.
Jeez.
And they don't expand on it any further with Laurie. But then Loomis finds out in the car with Chambers. He found Marion Chambers. He finds out that Laurie is Michael's sister.
Yeah.
All right. And it's kind of a little throwaway scene. And he goes, oh, my goodness. All right. But what's the point if that's how we, the audience, get to find out they're supposed to be brother and sister in this timeline? What's the point of her having the flashback if it doesn't lead her to anything?
Yeah, it didn't go anywhere.
She didn't figure it out, right?
Yeah,
Unless,
no.
do we miss something? Do we miss something
I don't
every time
think
we
so.
see? I don't think so either. So I think the movie ends with Laurie not figuring out, not knowing that Michael's her brother, to my knowledge.
Yeah, I was kind of waiting in that final fight scene for her to put the pieces together and say something like, I remember you. I remember visiting you. Or something. I don't know. Something to clue us in that she had connected those dots. But there was nothing.
You know, if she were the version of Laurie Strode played by Taylor-Compton something from the Rob Zombie one, because that version was a little bit trashier, she would have been like this. You ready? She'd have gone, ain't you my brother, motherfucker? Ain't you my brother? I think you're my brother, you bitch. And there'd have been a lot of cursing and talking about skull fucking. And yeah, I saw that movie a long time ago, but yeah, it would have been something like that. So yeah, this movie there's really good things and there's really bad things, I think. It does not try to be as suspenseful as the first film. And that's ridiculous. I blame the director completely. Fuck that guy. And it does have some good kills and it has a creepy factor. I think that's what the hospital did for it. That's why I did like it for a few years as a teenager. I remember watching this a lot and really thinking the hospital was creepy. But it's also, again, it's not really relatable. Like I want to be scared in my own house. You know what I mean? I want to get up and go take a piss. And then as I'm walking back into the bedroom, I want to be like, shit, is Michael Myers in the closet? You know, that's what I want. When you base the movie primarily in a hospital, you don't get that.
Well, it made me not want to take a night shift at a hospital.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't want to take a night shit in any hospital because...
Shift.
What happened? Oh, all right. I'll shift off of that topic. There was one scene when Laurie was on the ground and she couldn't walk. Remember this?
Yeah.
And Michael starts coming after her.
Yeah.
And finally, like she's able to like manipulate her way up. And I thought, run, girl, run and get yourself a better wig, because if there's one thing she should have been terrified about, it's that wig. It looks so ridiculous. In fact, there was speculation in high school that maybe Michael was after her solely because that wig looked so awful that he's like, you know what? I can't let this girl exist. Now I gotta go after her.
Yeah.
Now. You know, wouldn't it be great if he did talk at the end of the film and she's like, Michael, why? And he goes, that wig looks fucking ridiculous. No sister of mine will be walking around in that thing. I'm taking it off your head and then I'm taking your head off of you, cunt.
Oh my gosh.
Well, that's what he would have said. So I don't know. I like this movie. I do enjoy parts of it. I do enjoy some of the horror element. I enjoy the B-movie quality of it. See, that's the other thing about these older movies. These first probably 3 Halloween films, they have such a B-movie, like kind of cheap quality to them.
Yeah.
2 and 3 more than the first one, oddly. But I think that's almost like serendipitously enjoyable. You know, that like the action looks bad and the fight scenes look bad, and yet somehow you go, it's old movies, it's fun, fuck it.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly. It's a little more fun.
In a weird way, but yeah, so this movie has a lot of that too. I'll tell you what I thought. I thought Jimmy was gonna like save the day in the end.
I know. We didn't get any resolution with him.
No, I think in the comic book, guys, correct me, I might be wrong on this, but if I remember right, didn't he knock her up in the comic book? Isn't that what happened?
Are you serious?
Yeah,
I think just being.
I think he came in her mouth first.
Oh, all right.
And then later he knocked her up. I think.
Stop that right now.
We'll see in the comments because I don't remember. I don't have a very good memory at all. So we'll see what happened. But anyway, we're almost out of time. But yeah, I think this is a fun movie. Yeah. I think do you think it was a worthy sequel, or do you think it was better to just leave the first one and not get into this?
No, I think it had some good elements, and there was some good storytelling. Some of it just wasn't executed all that well, but it was a nice continuity from the first one. Yeah. Overall.
I'll tell you this: I don't love Halloween 2018, but I do probably prefer it as a sequel. If you got to have one or the other in these timelines, I probably prefer that as the official sequel to this, right?
Yes, I agree.
If I had to wipe one off the earth, not even sure about that. We'll talk about it soon. Anyway, guys, like and subscribe If you want to get more videos like this, we're going to be reviewing all the Halloween films probably
Like
very
us,
soon.
subscribe to us.
Yeah, we'll see you in the comments. Let us know what you guys think of this film.
Thanks.
Talk to you soon.